Yeah, thank you very much. And do you see how Martin and Froz just looked a little nervous? Like, oh no, someone who actually knows the game. Oh no. Oh no. The fear. The fear was setting in. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's good to hear from a new voice, though, bringing in some new perspectives and kind of giving us an idea. Yeah, last game of the day, though, and a little bit more of a Millie Island drop here. Ooh, I'm seeing a lot of names.
Yeah, there's a fair few. We're talking about it's weekend number one. It's the last game of weekend number one, so we want some excitement, we want some action, and honestly, there is potential that we get it here with an unorthodox team like TA. Well, maybe looking at FaZe Clan and seeing where they're going, there is potential for an
Oofed.
early hot drop. I'm looking at Redline and Navi. Also, Navi, I know they've gone much earlier, but you can see the tab is quite literally keeping a tab on all of Redline and where they be and where they're going to land their feet. ETG and the Sauna Boys is always that possibility. We've seen it once. It may happen again. Very doubtful. They will probably just go to the roadside as they did in the previous match, but certainly it's a tantalizing prospect that we do keep our eye on. It's actually, I think, looking at it, it's DAO taking the main head of the compounds and forced FaZe up side of the hill.
Yeah, did DA just daddy FaZe? I mean,
it's happened again.
Ooh!
It did happen.
Rich, what the hell is going on? Why is this a thing? It is fun though. This time though, last time we had kind of, the vectors coming out, the shotguns. Now we've got barrels and we've got M249s. It's a little bit more beefy, but just the same sort of carnage. Forever still alive with the M249 in one of the compounds. Huth is how we're saying it. Is more on the outside. And on the other side for the Sauna Boys, they're going to get the res. Ooh, this is getting a little dicey. If that nade had landed, that could have been a 2-for-1.
Same principle as yesterday. I felt
Have
like
you seen the
ETG
circle,
were
by the
more.
way?
All right. There's 3 teams in the circle after. Okay. Well, yeah. Let's see this one through first.
You can cast this out. I'm just gonna laugh for a bit.
Yeah, definitely hopped on board a bit faster than what we did yesterday. I'm glad the observation team were keeping track on that one. We get into it. We do lose one player initially in the form of Quepta. And Sauna Boys also on their side. You can just hear the SMGs ringing loud and proud. I mean, an AK on Misa. Nade. We have seen one cycle on the opposing side also. Damage has been done. We're losing Sakura also. So at least tanked up on both sides. And it's one of those moments where, looking at the playing path, it may have been a ditch attempt into this. I kind of, as a camera pulled away, we're kind of expecting it to update and the players actually go towards the roadside. So jumping in this, I'm surprised they've gone for it again, especially after yesterday's unfortunate ending, losing them all basically straight off the bat. They've all postured for a second. Barrel in hand. Uzi also on the opposing side. Probably could get round, and it goes for a nice little cheeky peek. But at least he does have gear. That is the better side across both at the moment, with having level 1s, maybe level 2 chest amongst them. It's still something. Vanderlust going down again, then puts it back into the other opposing court of the Sauna Boys, and maybe they capitalize on this one. Maybe they push it harder. But Forever with a 249, I think it's Forever with a 249, unless I've just completely been mistaken. I know he's got a mini in hand. Yes, excuse me, I am telling him. Does he just cycle between 2 different weapons? Potentially. All right, well, once again, it's the Sauna Boys who look like they're coming out on top of this one.
I don't think anyone wins out of this one, if I'm honest. I mean, yeah, ETG are very much on the back foot. Wonder if Forever can do any damage. I'm sure they're aware of his presence. I wonder if they clear it well enough, though. And Anonymous can kind of call out what he's hearing. I'm sure there's steps to be heard. And there's the molly. And there we go. Just, yep. Final one.
GG.
There it goes. Right. Yeah, we don't love a hot drop here. It's just the gear's garbage, and I don't get the intention. Now, here's what I was giggling at. Excuse me for doing this prior to you seeing it, but the circle, just big FU to every single player here who's gone. Like, imagine being Northern Lights and you drop in Zaki sometimes. You go, don't worry, guys, we'll be, Novo's fine. It'll probably be maybe even just, maybe a Pachinki circle or a Sanofica Island circle would be great. Nah. We're going up to shooting range. Liquid already getting across the road kind of by the 4-stack or the cube, whatever you like to call it. Somewhat near that area, keeping a bit of an eye on. They've got a bit of time up there. TSM going to be keeping the east somewhat safe, and I wonder how long are they going to stay around, because they could get a bit of attention from Tornado Energy or the Pink Ponies.
Liquid are actually driving into a team. WS are up there, and unless they pull back on this one, Liquid will have to take a fight. There's players up close and personal, so Wanderer is compy. He's off in West Town from Georgia Pole. There's nothing, there'll be no support in this one. For the rest of WS, they're getting in vehicles. They're going. They're scared of this fight. They don't want to take it. 3 teams over more towards the right-hand side. TSM, Tornado Energy, Pink Pony. They're going to go for the rotate. DA just got the hell off of Sosnovka as quick as you can imagine, and they will pick up the remnants of what's left over in Pachinki from Liquid evacuating the situation. Good read off that. You know that Liquid moves fast, moves quick, and it's going to be a free place to be able to get geared up. FaZe, actually, it's... And you kind of touched on it just before we moved to the hot drop. Like, it's uncanny for FaZe to be pushed out by a team so early on. Clearly they don't want the hot drop. They don't want to lose needless bodies and needless players so early on in the game, but adaption, it's nice to see. They are a bit spread, and they are going to be probably playing maybe off the blue. We've got a bridge in Camden, but it's only one play.
Oh! Squeaky's like, bro, I think my tire just popped. What the hell just happened? Just hits the curb, just prangs it. Keeps going though, just maybe takes a different route. Like, I'll catch you guys up soon, don't worry. I'll parallel park when no one's watching. The other 3, they're gonna head right on through, but what a fun little circle coming in. I don't know what to make of this one. I hope we get where kind of events are going. That to me is some of my most fun. Zaki area, or even, you know, back in the day of Northern Georgia Pop. We haven't had a circle ending like that in a while. I mean, roll your mind back to the old TSM, the old TSM, where they used to be gods of that area. Now, speaking of the new TSM, they're over towards kind of the south side of shooting range-ish, kind of more towards that area. Pink Pony's heading towards the east. And FaZe feels weird. And they've got Flammy below. Rich, sometimes PUBG does weird things. They have no idea of each other. They're completely unawares.
Yeah, that's kind of what's more scary out of all of this, is that they're looking to try and secure themselves a very easy and secure approach to the circle, but they don't realize there is a player still lingering and lurking below them. It's good scouting coming out of IC. Now he definitely will be going off the bridge. He'll just be able to say, no, we'll let you go, boys. You take that. You get the hell out of here, and then we're free to go. There's no point shooting at this point, because then you're just asking to be bridge camped, although you won't want to be really doing it from the blue. Everyone else, just so you're aware, we'll keep track of the circle. We don't want to kind of focus too much on it. You've got ENS, you've got Tornado Energy, Pony, TSM, the teams that were on the rotate either side of the west and east of the circle. They're up in the north. They're going for that northern push now. I'm glad you touched on ENS as well, Lauren, because that is a team that we have seen predominantly actually win games in and around that field area. We see them late game. It's happy territory for them. It's a usual rotate over by that western side, even though they're a team that, again, usually will be somewhere in and around Stalber, down backside of Yasnaya, kind of lingering and lurking up towards the north at least, but not this time around given the flight path that came through. It's been a rough one thus far. FaZe are all half health, and it's going to be because they are in the blue, and it will be ticking away slowly but surely, so they'll have to commit some meds to this to be able to get them to the circle. Ever since you've touched it, though, I just see this going up towards the north. I really do, and the northern side of Georgia Pole Bay. I can't not unsee it now. It would, I don't know.
We'll see. Teams do not know. Normally you'll see, I'd say a 70-30. You know, intentions noted. Wow, okay. This gets fun, so it should... I say it should go to the north side, just because of how the river dips. However, there is a chance it can still go anywhere, potentially. So someone like Liquid's going to be happy they've kind of hedged their bets. TSM probably not displeased, depending on if they can hold it, because Northern Knights are looking like they want to take this territory. Now, of course, you know, the teams that gambled stacked on the kind of more extreme northern portions, or maybe, you know, the further south side or the western side, probably put out a little bit here. They won't be able to get a good position, because bear in mind, the slap-bang center of the current circle pretty much is water and an island, so it's actually not that ideal for a lot of these teams, so we're going to have to kind of play, almost, it's like a donut, you know what I mean, with a little circle missing in the middle.
Trying to see if anyone's going to be landlocked. They could have gone for the cube stack to just lock that down and try and block anyone off coming from the bridge. He might be taking the hill to look at how shooting range is going, because if it does pull towards the north, there's room at the... You've got those hills at the top of shooting range, what look down. Northern Lights are actually going to sit into a very comfortable
spot.
position. I love this area with the level 3 building that you can get up high on and get some vision, and then controlling the other side of it. Like, we'll see fights, but it's from either side of that where a team comes out of Roshawk and dips onto that hill and then has to fight it out. But if they control both portions of it, that's going to be fantastic work. Jimbo's clearly done a bit of a scout. Mertz made it through the water. The bike is still running. He's just going to flush all the water out the engine, rev that bad boy, and crack on. Going through the islands that you mentioned, though, is he's got to be careful that no one's on the opposing side or they don't get boxed in, to be fair. FaZe Clan, just so you are aware, are still in the blue. The circle's been a teeny bit more favorable to them, but because of the bystanders almost on a simultaneous rotation path, they are now blocking them. And I can see the bystanders, the little arrows on the players, Lauren, they're looking this way. So I wonder if they track FaZe and maybe block them in.
I wonder. Let's see. He's going to hear enough that he's going to dip off as soon as he can. Take more of a northern swing. Flammy's moving up towards this. They're being quite aggressive. Yes, Flammy's going ahead to keep back the likes of Fuzzface or anyone else. Now, there is still a nade on Flammy too. If he feels suspicious of the vehicle that's on the bridge that he seems to be ignoring, he could have decided to pop a couple of shots, but Fuzzface barely alive, and his meds are poor. Look at this. He is just trying to get those bandages on. He's down to absolutely nothing. So this is, you know, the art class of Fuzzface desperately trying to keep his life ticking away for him. And hearing Flammy pull up is probably making him more nervous than anything. And might be in the position now to get off a full med kit. Yes, he is. Just ticks over that 30%. And he should be able to get up there. But Uber silently rolling in, trying to stay quiet in this. And Yellow is not far away from here.
The idea's been there. The vert nade's down. It lands. It bounces. Oh, it bounced off the side, though, with the smoke. I didn't quite catch it, so it hits his one time he had to go at it. And unfortunately, it's not paid off. Time to get the hell out of there as Yellow folds onto Uber. And again, this just comes down to great play from the bystanders. It's obviously a certain proportion of luck that they just went ahead of FaZe without them knowing. But they have been actively tracking them in the blue, and they are actively keeping them out completely, and the circle's been okay for them.
Rich, this is going to be a brutal circle. So more likely than not, right? You and me both know it. It's going to be like Northern Light, Shift W, maybe a bit of DA sort of area. The South shouldn't have much play to it. So there ain't many buildings up there in the North, are there, Rich?
No. TSM basically controlled everything. This is going to be wild. This could, I mean, how many could we be losing here? Maybe 5 teams potentially. WS, the first one who offered themselves up, unless they can take. I mean, there's. It's barely nothing. There's a couple of little low points with the dirt roads that run through that you could take residency in. I mean, hell, even Liquid might opt to go for that because it's going to be a last-ditch attempt. That's what WS is doing. They're going to set up shop. That's the forest area that looks on towards the buildings. The Liquids realize what's going on. There's a team rotating, so they will start to shoot into this. The only problem is the more damage that is done to Redline, the easier it becomes for them to die as they go up against WS. This is just a dungeon gauntlet. So many teams. Not enough room to play with. Eesh.
Yeah. DA, though, nice work. Obviously, newer changes and adaptations to the map have allowed positions like this to be viable. This wasn't there in the past, so now it is, and it's provided good hard cover for them to work from. Smash and Metralius both in this sort of position, keeping back Redline as best they can, and, well, it's worked out well for them. They needed that. They needed to secure their position and let others know, hey, you ain't getting through here. But with Redline falling back, this brings it to the plate of win streak. Nade to hand. I'm pretty sure Ivers was noted there. Maxie's got to be careful. Yeah, there we go. Makes a spot, but now he's isolated on his own. Can't really be helped. QB is going to find him, and actually, yeah, Redline had to turn away, but they merely fall into a better fight for themselves.
Probably not a great deal he can do with the angles that are going to be covered. QB is just trying to play for time, to be fair. That's all he really can do. With one knocked on the side of WS, there is a small opportunity. Excuse me. No, he's not. I'm lying. Maxis go down. Didn't quite catch that one. Examples lurking. Wanderer's just waiting for the right time to strike with the SKS. Doesn't land a bullet this time, but at least forces him back. They've got a shack to play with, but I mean, really, what's that in the grand scheme of things when you have Tornado Energy just bearing down upon you? Liquid still staying alive and keeping Na'Vi at bay, disconnected all the way on the opposing side of the water. That'll be the last team to make it across unless you want to really classify Raw Sockers that as well. I suppose you can. They are on the opposing side of the river, but they're in the much better position, much further forward, and they've got a compound to work with as well. But Mexi has fallen. With Mexi falling, that makes things a little bit more easier. Not, you know, not the best thing. Look at Ibby. He's already been proactive on this. Maybe he tries to deny Na'Vi getting in. Quizzy with the AWM, the big machines involved, and win streak have fallen.
Okay, let's take a look at what this circle means. TSM, can they maintain this 2-2 split? It's actually quite bold because then they're not necessarily as complementary as you'd imagine. The hillside will play a bit of a factor to it. I'd be curious if they decide to compress back into one squad. Depends how much pressure they get thrown towards them. Northern Lights can maintain this position. They might have to give up where Spyro currently resides and where the bystanders will want to pay attention to. Maybe stack out further towards Perfectix. It may be the better plan. Kind of divide that as the line. Hold this as long as they feel comfortable and then fall back through. You just don't want people slipping through your line of defense. You've got to look towards the north now. Tornado Energy and Pink Ponies posturing, but if Tornado Energy find the right angle, they can get in here. I'm looking at Liquid and Na'Vi. They're in a bad spot. They stuck around in their positions quite late, and now they're caught with swimming across. That's not what you want at this point. And Team Liquid, blind sending into this scenario, not good at all.
Kind of, with Mexi going down, they'll have heard where the shot came from. I'm surprised that Ibby didn't actually go to a better position to maybe try and stop the advancement from Na'Vi. Big crash coming in. We'll shut up for a second. Northern Lights, Perfectix on his own, while all of bystanders, all 4 players are here, but Squeaky gets involved from a distance, so Ence knock them down for all but a moment. Flammy is finished off. The nade comes in. Mollies go down for area of denial. And Lou's here for backup, but look who's lingering on the hillside, Lauren. Look who's back building into this one.
Yeah, but look who's going to third party them. Omicron. There is no winning in this one for FaZe. They have not had a comfortable position at all. Perfectix is being held safe, but there's a time limit on, as you said, Lou, potentially from the likes of FaZe coming around and getting vision on this, which they will have soon. But for FaZe, would they rather get safe in the circle first? And that looks like the priority. Head south, which opens them then up towards Omicron. So now, there it comes. Petulins looks their way. Sure, he gets a knock, but it may just be Omicron to get the flush. We are seeing Gustav being the one to be on the receiving end of this, and 80 not too good either. Bystanders are living in the shadow of the Northern Lights for now, and I don't know how long they can get on with this.
Lights are going down from distance on Petulins. All kinds of problems as DA's here. Liquid. Still got a fight at the door with the players downstairs. Shift W, but nades up and in the stairs. And instantly, the second we hop on board with Liquid, they are eliminated. Decent nade from Brexco, and it's job done. Fuzzface has taken a more alternate angle to try and tackle this one. Maybe stab them in the back. Maybe get an eyeline into Petulins. But the problem is, as you said, Lauren, for all these times we can talk about third parties, there's someone else to always fold into them. Omicron, thankfully, doesn't have anybody behind them, but they can't go too low. By doing so, they'll be exposed, unfortunately, to Shift W.
Besto hears the steps.
Easily.
Besto hears all of this. Oh, Orange has found Code Marco. Where's the trades? There it is. Smash finds Besto. Back in we go. Tab going to try and look further towards the north, trying to clue the boys down towards the south. He gets one. That's not bad, but the quick trade out. Smash and Mert just about keeping this safe. Now they are recoverable. Code Marco is knocked, but Trallius is there. Mert's down. Smash can pick him up. And they've secured their side. Or have they? Nailup is getting very curious. Nailup is heading over this way. So if he gets vision, he could wipe the entirety of DA. Let's see what he sees. He's just on top of the hillside. The rest are now coming over, but it's too little too late. Or is it? Nailup only good for one. If he'd got there a touch sooner, they could have done more. But DA holding on by the finest of margins. This is danger territory. You've got the blue coming in. You've got players down on your back. You've got the crash in the compound. BE being pressured. But coming up with the goods until Spyro drops him from the roof. And they'll get Perfectix back on his feet. Batulin still stands. Northern Lights with 4 players still alive here. Omicron one in on this. They're about to crash that fight just now. Fuzzface is in danger. He's got 2 teams coming his way. And there is fights everywhere right now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. Page goes down. He is solidified by Northern Lights. They're retreating further down to try and get an eyeline into this. Remember, Fuzzface, they don't know his position unless his footsteps of discipling that nade and moving forward have been noted. One player back up against the wall is Jempty. Misa and the boys, they go down. Unfortunately, Sauna boys have been removed. Fin on fin action as Squeaky puts the nail in the coffin alongside Tixu. Fuzzface steps out and it's time to shine. There's the first. Did he realize someone's actually gone behind him? I don't think he's quite spotted him yet as he hits the deck. There is a...
This is
Did
sick.
not see that one. Second one down there as well. But the thing is, Batulins can see into this. That's the only real problem for him. He can't go outside, Lauren.
Nah, the molly's the biggest problem. There he goes, spreads through. Unfortunate for Fuzzface, but a good attempt. Had to make something happen, but Northern Lights are now at the door, and Omicron maybe comms a little scattered now after that battle with Fuzzface, and those smokes rife on the floor. Now keep in mind the Northern Lights can keep Omicron boxed in, unless they use the smokes to leave. Now they can't do that. Perfectic's already finding T-Bone, but Gemty on the push, and it's just Gemty. Now, on his own, this man can do wonders, and he can cost people placement and positioning and potentially prizes. But we'll see what he does. Creeps around the smoke, and Northern Lights still preoccupied, still thinking there's more inside the shack. But no, Gemty's outside, and he could be the undoing all of this. There's one, spots it, waits, decides to strike. The shots weren't with him that time. He needed them so badly, and now overwhelmed Swarm. Northern Lights control the East. It's theirs, and a hard fought for slice of the pie as well.
This is the thing, while you're watching all this action, we are sticking to certain teams, but remember there is 8 alive still with 28 players up. It's just been fight after fight constantly for the Northern Lights. They work their way into this one. TSM are looking. They're leaving the safety near their shack ever so slightly. They're still staying back in the compound just so they have that hard cover, but Miraku, and I think it is Vard, handing, in fact, all 3 of them are now beginning to crawl towards this, and they have vision on both of these teams, Lauren.
Yeah, if they don't overstep, they're going to be in a great scenario. However, Redline could be a problem with Ivus being where he is. There's still a little bit of danger to this one. He's just off on enough of an angle that can make problems for Iro and Miraku. However, they're focused on Tornado Energy. Now with them gone, Fex can focus on the revive, but you've got to be careful. You do not control that compound anymore, and you've not had vision on it for a while. The pink ponies technically could creep their way in. They could just slither in towards one of those buildings, but for now they don't. They hold back on their position. They don't know what we know. But now Tixu knows there's a lot more problems coming their way, and it's from the east, from the south specifically. The SKS, not bad work from him there, making it work as best he can. Him taking over and Ents taking over the 2-2 split that was happening for TSM. Speaking of, here comes those pink ponies. You've got Goya getting right up towards the compound now. So they have to fall away from this, leave Redline to bring themselves back together and deal with the fight that's on their doorstep.
And that's kind of why they want this one to be quick, so they can just remove them and then face the problem in front of them, or the task in hand, which will be Redline being able to basically just set up an enforcement around them. They'll get so much vision by doing so that they can just wait for the arrival. This was the kills from earlier on with the Sauna Boys going out. Ents, remember, are still in this, and they're heading towards more deeper than what anyone else can get, to be fair. It's a bit sketchy, given Northern Lights' position. Maybe they hadn't noted it in full force and full form. Smokes up on either side, and now a big old fight will begin against the Northern Lights and potentially Shift W. Shift W with the basically last compound inside of this circle, and one that will allow them to gather vision. With the buildings, they'll be able to get up on top if they have the scopes. This could be Ents in a very sticky situation, but it's who does Shift W go after first? That's the bigger question. They have both Ents and the Northern Lights potentially in their sightlines.
Yeah, and DA's just turned up towards the foot of the hill with Redline, so many fights on so many fronts about to happen. Metralius, Mert, and Smash made it through. They did lose one on the way. Code Marco not joining them. And to Redline, keep in mind, Redline were the ones, and Nail specifically, that pushed them early on, and I love this deeper swing they're going on. Be able to silhouette the players on the other side, making it so easy to go on like Mert, but Smash quickly trading, and Mert is keeping these guys in some of these fights, but it is just just Smash now standing, or proning, should I say, as the revive's going to be tricky. Not sure how open he is to these 2 standing players for Redline. The nades could have been deadly. Nail Up, though, turns attention as TSM. They're on the push. They want to press the issue. While the iron's hot, they want to strike. And you can see QBE turning his attention, going, I might just need to go on a points grab. I don't know if we can survive this.
He's going to stick the res out. It is a bit sketchy. The smokes are there, so provide some level of cover. Spyro and Lou have just fallen? Well, that's rather unexpected from distance as well. That's going to cause Northern Lights all kinds of problems and allow Braxcom maybe to overstep the boundary, but we're here with QBE. He knows where these players have still been lingering. The rest came through, so they're all even Stevens with 2 players alive each. Ooh. The spray down trade is there, and Ivus comes in with the savior nade. TSM, well, they got a little bit cautious. They held back. They held their triggers for now. But now they realize that, you know, this fight's halfway done. Maybe it's time to put the utility to good use and seal this with a kiss.
Yeah, TSM are in the prime position here. You can still see those smokes. They have decent armor, helmets, everything you need, really, and they have the prime position, of course, with the high ground and the compound under their control. Everyone else is the peasants merely running around their kingdom at the moment. Most of them battered and bruised by the time they'll get towards the just steps of the hillside. Zoka, Braxico, Kilyakai doing wonderfully. But look at what they've got to work with. You've got Ents with a rock. Congratulations, guys. Perfectix without his life. He's going to lose out. I don't know how much Ents can survive here. One nade would do so much work, but Ibis decides not to shoot on this. Now, keep in mind, they have been in so many fights here. So maybe not wanting the attention, but this is shooting fish in a barrel or fins in a barrel, potentially. 3 dead. Gone. Fex claims 1, Braxico nabs another. But TSM on the move, again, they're being proactive, leaving Fex as their rotation point. Keep him on one side, a 3-pack moves towards the other side, and we ensure that information will constantly stay relevant.
They will know that Gurry is still lurking somewhere, mainly because the Pink Ponies got involved with the Northern Lights earlier on. Yeah, there you go, job done. They hunt him down, they find it, and more importantly, they solidify a good 60% of the map for themselves. Ivor's still holding on, although it is a bit sketchy. Does have 3 first aids, 2 after this one, so at least he can keep going for now. Miraku's just picked himself an AWM. That's at this stage in the game, 6 times silenced. That's a very scary prospect. I wanna see some damage out of this thing.
And credit to Redline for keeping themselves in this game. They have been incredibly proactive. 8 kills probably doesn't even highlight the amount of fights they've been through, but they've been doing well. But it is going to be feeling like a matter of time for them. Broken, bruised, the gear's gone, the vests are shredded. They're down to the last bits and pieces and down to the last player. QBE desperate to try and do anything. If he can get a flush, perfect. If he can be the, you know, just living in the shadow of TSM as maybe they get the knock and he gets the flush, perfect. But Braxico gets curious and gets 2 bullets for it. So back towards his piece of cover. And for Kilyakai, this becomes a problem. He is not in the new circle, but Fex gets spotted, so a couple of bullets put through, some suppressing fire to keep them back slightly. Shift W still trying to keep this one up in the air slightly. You've got to feel the favor is drastically with TSM. Ooh, QBE. A little too thick for his own good. Oh, the headshot as well. Yeah, he's in danger now. Iroh might even get some vision on that. I don't know if the hillside would allow, but Kilyakai's getting hungry. He wants these points. Look at that vest. Look at that helmet. Nothing going on.
Realize the free position has come into play. Does have 1 nade if he wants to have a go for it for the tree, but it means pulling himself out of cover, so he might not want to challenge it full body at the moment and throw it at it. TSM still clearly making note of his position on the side of the tree, and with the smokes as well, it makes it all that much harder to try and find him. Fex is just shooting through the smoke and ironically just doing damage, so it is what it is. Random nade comes out, finds the target, and he absolutely nails it. What a shot from QB, just to ink out of the tree and nab him in the head. That is phenomenal work, and then follows up with a nade as well. That's sick.
It's so well done. QBE has been a nuisance. Redline has been resilient, I think is the best way to put it. And they've set up, yes, TSM for success here against the 2 that now stand. Zoka and who is it with him? Braxico, the classic. Trying to do anything, but Vard already moved forward. They've been proactive in the perfect timing. They found that balance to maintain cover from further away. Braxico gets peppered down. 8 HP is all he's got to work with. You can see on the faces, they know what's about to happen. Zoka low as well. Shift W desperate for any of this to work out. Braxico again lower, just filtering through this, and as it happens, you see the net being thrown around and the, you know, the closing call here. TSM have played a wonderful game, playing the positions perfectly, not overstepping, not making mistakes. This looks like a TSM that means business. Zoka tries to make a play and it's not going to happen. There it is. TSM with a close down and a wonderful victory. 11 kills, poised and